prigovora, bar od strane ekipa, ali nastavljamo sa programom.
As we go now to the semi-finals of the men's quad scull. In lane 1, Poland, lane 2, Italy, lane 3, Ukraine, lane 4, Germany, lane 5, Norway, and lane 6, USA.
Yeah, a few crews, I think, qualifying from lane 4 earlier in the day when conditions weren't so bad.
It's a bit of a guide, isn't it?
Yeah.
The conditions are getting a bit worse. It looks like 5 qualified. The Irish got second. Everyone else has been third.
So Haza, Baranski, Zitarski, Matti Bixup moved from the 2-seat into the stroke seat for the Polish crew. The great Giacomo Gentili there in the stroke seat looking round. Chiamento, Panizza, Carucci. This fabulous Italian quad like to blast it out off the start. They will be leading, I think, at 500. The Ukrainians with a better lane in lane 3, Mikola Kleshnak, Dmitry Hula, Oleksandr Nodotka and Ivan Dovgodko from the Ukrainian crew, 2 men from the 2014 boat that took the world title. And the then world's best time, Finger, Apfel, Timo Lanascu, who I think had to be helped out the boat in the 3-seat. Moritz Wolf in the stroke seat for Germany. The Norwegians, they've had a good championships. This boat has done really well. Oystata, Helseth, Juel and Sol Bakken. Memories go back to Norwegian quads, picking up medals in the Seoul Olympics back in '88. And the Chris Kozanowski coach crew, the guru of American rowing, Kevin Cardo, Liam Galowski, William Lejanowski, Dominic Williams. These guys have just come out of the American 8s camp. They've only been sculling for about 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Some of them sculled in high school, and now they're in the big time.
Well, if you haven't sculled that much, you don't really want to be in conditions like this in a quad going out. It's a big, strong headwind, but that's what they've got. It's tough over here for this American crew, the same as it was for their women's quad, also drawn on lane 6. And wow, look at that, the Ukrainians battling through those waves.
America on this side, just one up from them, the Norwegians, the Germans figuring in that lane number 4. Italy, I think, maybe just leading, but it's the Ukrainians. Has that gone out quickly?
Yeah, Martin, remind me, who was going to be leading at 250?
I said 500 for the Italians.
The Italians leading at 500, okay.
Yeah. So,
you could still be right.
Yeah, they're certainly leading the world champion polls, but very brave start from the Ukrainians. We saw their women go out, and Chupa, their coach, will have told them, get out quickly. Again, I wonder about their endurance in the last 500, Greg, but a great start from the Ukrainians. The Italian bows do hit the front, Greg.
Yeah, we see the Italians here starting to move ahead. They've got maybe just a foot or two over the Ukrainians. As we ride here with the Italians on screen, Giacomo Gentili in the stroke seat of that crew. But the Germans hanging in there too.
Yeah, Germans hanging in there very well over here on lane 4. And here we go, Martin. We're coming up for 500 gone. Is it going to be the Ukrainian crew, or is it going to be the Italians who lead through 500? Martin Cross knows his rowing. He knows his predictions. He's absolutely right. It's the Italians with the lead, just ahead of Ukraine. The Polish, slightly slower starters, but you think they're going to come through?
Yeah, I think so. That's what took the Italians to a gold medal in the 2022 Europeans, where they beat the Poles. They didn't have a great start in the 2022 Worlds. I talked to Giacomo Gentili and the lads after that, and they said, yeah, we didn't hit it right off. But Gentili, he is the magician in that crew, the Fiammi Gialli, Orsman, Andrei Panizza, the power, the 542 on the ergo in the 2-seat. That's what he's putting down at the moment, Greg.
Yeah, sitting in the 2-seat and just really clean and quick with those hands. That in a quad, in these conditions, you will feel more connected than normal. And actually having the big ergo, I think, is more useful on days like today than it is when you're in the tailwind and it all goes by so fast in a quad.
Alex Wojciechowski, the coach of the Polish crew, as we said, has switched round their order, put the Tokyo Olympian from the double sculls, Matti Bixup, in the stroke seat. Very upright sculler, the man from the Gdansk club. But at the moment, the Poles coming back through the Italians. I think Poland might win this. It's a question whether Ukraine can hang on and head the Germans.
So we see Poland over there in lane 1, just sitting down at the moment on Italy. We're still only just approaching the halfway mark, so there's a lot of lake to play out yet. But the pressure coming from the Germans in lane 4, we saw the Aussies qualify from there. So anything could happen here, but what they're going to do is keep the pressure on those three leading boats. No one can afford a mishap at this point in the race. A time and place check coming through the 1,000. Poland 3:08.30, followed by Italy, followed by Ukraine, and then Germany, Norway, USA. So the placings now are the same as the lanes across the course.
Yeah, as you say, Sarah, and Martin predicted, the Polish have pushed that bow in front, that we now see Poland in the lead. I do wonder, like you say, Sarah, whether the Germans in lane 4, who were 5th at Varese in World Cup 2, they were 5th at Lucerne in World Cup 3, will be able to make progress against the fast-starting Ukrainians.
Yeah, it's a great shout. And, you know, it's a lot resting on the shoulders of Moritz Wolf in the stroke seat. The Berliner oarsman, the 23-year-old, well, he's backed up by that double under 23 gold medalist. As we look at Ivan Dovodko, the Ukrainian stroke man there, absolutely anchoring his crew. Big thing resting on the shoulders of Dovodko, the 34-year-old. As the Germans desperately try and hang on to their stern, there's Giacomo Gentili. Cool as you like, isn't he?
Yeah, very cool in the stroke seat. Real story of two stroke men, really. I like Matti Bixup as well. The way he looks in the stroke seat of the Polish boat, looks pretty calm, looks pretty cool, kind of sits there looking quite upright in his body, and he's just been leaning on it and leaning on that Polish crew as they're taking the lead, and we see them now.
And it looks like the Italians are starting to suffer because the Poles are moving out, but Ukraine is drawing level with the Italians. Coming through is the Germans as well. Everything's going to play out in this last 500 metres. It'll be who can keep the pressure on. No one can afford, like I said, any mistakes in this last 500 in the difficult water.
Yeah, no mistakes. That's important in these quads. It's easy to get the blades tangled up. Here we go in this last 400 or so.
Right, Anton Finger making the calls in the bow seat. The Berliner Ruder Club oarsmen, the two Olympians, Apfel and Naska, in the centre of that German quad. There they are, the stroke man, Moritz Wolf. He's leading his crew back on the Ukrainians. Will it be agony? And second time for a Ukrainian crew. I think Germany might just do it.
It looks to me like the momentum is with the Germans. They're clinical here in lane 4. They're pushing through the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians are starting to struggle here. It looks like they're just spinning the wheels and not able to respond.
Well, the water's slightly calmer here in this last 250 or so. We're looking at the bow balls. They're pretty much side by side. I think the Ukrainians still have a small lead at the moment over the Germans, and they have tried to respond and raise that boat speed.
Look across from the German two-man. Max Apfel is really putting the hammer down. The Magdeburg oarsmen as they come up to the finish line.
It's 1 metre between them for the 3rd and 4th place. Who's it going to be coming down to the line?
Poland leading out in front. Ukraine sprinting for all their worth. I think they're just ahead of the Germans, but Germany are moving through. It's going to be on the surge. Italy will get the 2nd place. Germany lead as they pass me. They will grab the 3rd place. Oh, Ukraine rode out of it. In 4th, Italy grabbed the 2nd. Celebration for Germany. They will be delighted, gutted for Ukraine. Norway come across in 5th place, USA in 6th. And Ukraine will have to qualify for Paris by winning the B final.
Wow, what a massive last 500 from the Germans. That they looked really quite a long way behind, but we never stopped talking about them. We were aware that they were there lurking on the Ukrainian stern, and they made a big, big last move there. And you could see how much it meant to them as they crossed the finish line.
Well, do the Germans know they've got that 3rd place? Yes.
They definitely do, yeah.
They do. And Max Affel grabs the 27-year-old Tim Olanaska, the Ruder Club, Ruder Gesellschaft Hansa oarsman from Hamburg in the north of Germany. Oh, well, it was close, wasn't it?